Hello, everybody, and welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be doing an NFL mock draft for the first 3 rounds, but the catch is it is strictly for the NFC North. If you guys don't know, my favorite team is the Green Bay Packers. Also, the Lions. Teams like the Lions, the Vikings are in interesting spots in the draft board. I thought it'd be really fun to do this idea here. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Oh my God, already an absurd draft board off the, what is this? CJ Stroud off the board at 1, Richardson 2, Wilson 3, Young at 4, Carter at 5 feels kind of consensus to me. But here at number 6 with Detroit, Will Anderson is on the board. Let's go Will Anderson. And then we have Chicago here. I'm going to just decline all those. Not interested on moving out. So Paris Johnson and Joey Porter get taken before Chicago is on the board here. They have a chance at Peter Skoronski or one of these corners. If you want, you can even go with JSN, Miles Murphy at this spot. But for me, it's probably going to be Peter Skoronski at number 9, getting off the board. Here at number 15, Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon, both still on the board. Very surprising stuff. So we actually saw Bijan go at 10, Johnston at 11, Van Ness there at number 12, Broderick Jones at 13, Addison at 14. And now it is our turn to pick. It's just on who we want to pick. Obviously, Van Ness is off the board. Nolan Smith would be fun. Not quite the player we're looking for. Miles Murphy can eventually take over for that Preston Smith role, play both the run and pass. Someone interesting, but I think corner becomes much more of a need with these two on the board. Listen, I know you got Rasul Douglas, Jair Alexander, and Eric Stokes, but these are two players that you just can't miss on. Like, these two players are not for sure great players in the league, but their floor is already so high. It's so hard to miss out on one of these two guys, and that's why I'm taking Christian Gonzalez. And then Devin Witherspoon goes right after us, and then Cam Smith, a little run on corners there. Cam Smith, Devin Witherspoon, and Christian Gonzalez. And then we're on the board here with Detroit at number 18. Again, Will Anderson was their first pick. Michael Mayer and Brian Bazee are, suggested. Brian Branch probably not in play with the CJ Gardner-Johnson signing. You have Kirby Joseph and Will Harris to play above as well. Will Levis on the board. Will Levis is the easiest pick of my life. Deontay Banks goes right before this pick to Minnesota. Probably someone I would have considered. Kincaid at 21. Nolan Smith at 20. Miles Murphy before that. So, going to have to get a little different here if you are Minnesota at this pick. 23. With JSN still on the board. It's a need. And no more Adam Thielen. It is Jackson Smith and Jigba season. Everyone will just continue to fly off the board. No NFC North pick for a while. Packers next up at 45. Felix Ndike-Uzama goes off the board right in front of him, but this works out. Darnell Washington is here at the spot. Someone I'm very highly considering alongside Keon White and Adetomiwa Adebawore. But you just can't miss on a reliable pass catcher / do-it-all weapon athlete, freak of nature, Darnell Washington. If you're Detroit so far, you've come out with Will Anderson and Will Levis. A lot of Wills. Can we keep that going? No, doesn't look like it. Steve Avila just goes off the board, and Julius Brents off the board as well. One thing I did want to address was corner. Whether or not it's here or now, I don't think it is anymore. DJ Turner would probably be the option of choice here. I don't know when the next pick they have. It's at 48, so another 30 picks down the board. Can you get someone of that caliber? Or do you want to just go Luke Musgrave now and then maybe make a move on a corner a little bit later? Because you already addressed corner, so it's not as raging of a need as Luke Musgrave. Obviously, you got Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton. So I'm just going to go ahead and go Luke Musgrave off the board. And then it's Chicago on the board with Trent Simpson just off the board. Adetomiwa Adebawore here or Keon White, probably between the two, despite how much I like Tui Tuipulotu. It's such a tough spot knowing that all these players are well in play and all around the same spot, other than Siaka Ika and Keanu Ben. For me, it's between Tuli Adetomiwa, and then Keon White. Jack Campbell can even work his way into this situation, or even before they got those two linebackers in free agency, Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. So that becomes one of their, least needed positions. And I'm going to go Adetomiwa Adebawore off the board here. And here are the Detroit Lions picking at number 55. So I lied. They actually do pick generally early. Is Clark Phillips the player here? I don't know. This is probably a trade down spot, worst case scenario. But Will Levis, Will Anderson, and Luke Musgrave, so far you're building yourself a great class. Now you could play Tuli Tuipulotu inside, even over a guard or something like that. I think Tui Tuipulotu would be really good in that sort of role. And also playing for a team like this would be quite fun for, the Lions, just to be able to move him around, a versatile piece, a good player. I'm a big fan. USC defensive lineman, probably plays interior in the league, but he could play off the edge for you. Tough spot here between Tuli and perhaps Clark Phillips, I guess, because consensus says, but I like the upside of DJ Turner a lot more. But pick right here. You're going to bulk up the interior as well. You're no longer going to have to play, the guys that you have been playing on the inside with, what's his name? Levi Onwuzurike and Aleem McNeil. Probably could get a little better with Tuli Tuipulotu if he can translate to the next level. Here at number, 61, is it? Yeah, we've got a lot of options. On the defensive line, you might see a reach on Gervon Dexter somewhere in this territory, depending on the team picking. Maybe Philadelphia wants to pull the trigger. Maybe you want to build your offensive line despite already getting Peter Skoronski. I think you really covered the borderline. Do you want to get another edge with Keon White? Are you looking inside for Siaka Ika to be an elite run stopper for you? There's a lot on the board here for the Chicago Bears at this spot. Let me tell you, I would hate going up against Siaka Ika if he can get it back together. Heard some poor reports about, or just like his numbers or anything like that. Everything has just kind of fallen apart. Here for the Chicago Bears at this spot, Whippler is saying is a suggested pick. I disagree. Considering you've got probably all five. I mean, maybe to replace Cody Whitehair at some point, but other than that, there's no real need. Keon White would be fun. Again, another spot that he can probably go. Gervon Dexter's on the board right here. In love with Zach Harrison. Andre Carter down the board. Noah Sewell. I mean, I like the Whippler pick strictly just because he can develop behind your offensive lineman Cody Whitehair and become, perhaps better than him at one point. But I don't know if that's your pick here. If you want to go Sidney Brown, I know you are pretty good at safety with Jaquan Brisker and Eddie Jackson, but Eddie Jackson's probably circling around 28, 29 years old at this point. Not injury prone. I mean, he had a bad injury last year. It is what it is. You can go with Whippler. You can go with Sidney Brown, but I'm going with Gervon Dexter. Big freak human being at number 64. We'll have another pick here for a while. It'll be Green Bay up at 78. Definitely a spot where you can consider a lot. I mean, what wide receivers are on the board? Tyler Scott. I'm a big fan of Rashee Rice, Cedric Tillman, and Kayshon Boutte, Marvin Mims down the board. Even A.T. Perry continues to be here, but you did kind of have to take the hit in the defensive line considering you didn't get one at 15. So instead you went Christian Gonzalez and Darnell Washington. You paid the price. Not anymore. Zach Harrison is one of my favorite players in this whole class by far. And to me, that is incredible at whatever we got him at. I mean, should be so good in the league. And it all worked out in the end for the Lions. DJ Turner remains on the board. Will get taken at number 81. High upside player. If he doesn't work out, it's not too big a deal. Taking him here in the third round. Jair Brown just off the board right here before the Vikings. I'm going to keep the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft alive. Let's go Hendon Hooker at number 87 for this team. I really like the fit. I really like the idea behind it all. It should be really great to watch as time goes on. But just closing out this video, this first round, whatever you want, or the third round, it is Chicago on the board again. You have addressed defensive line and offensive line pretty heavily. Peter Skronsky, probably the last piece you need on that offensive line. You drafted 2 guys to play interior for you, Justin Jones being your next best guy. Definitely a tell that you needed someone like that. Adetomiwa Adebawore off the edge could be incredible for you. Saying that you could use receiver here, I disagree. I don't think, you don't need wide receiver at this spot. I don't think that's really in play. I don't know what really is in play. Right here for me, it is literally probably just best player available. Whether that's Jamie Robinson, I don't know. I don't know who the best player available is for this team. Noah Sewell, I mean, would be fun. He's a good player down the board. I'm a big fan of DeMarvion Overshown, converted DB, I think. Oh, that should be fun. JL Skinner, who can kind of play coverage a little bit better. Give me JL Skinner to eventually replace Eddie Jackson if it all works out how it should. But that is all for me. Obviously, we saw Chicago go Peter Skronsky, Adebawore, Siaka Ika, Javon Dexter, JL Skinner. Very defensive-based, team and draft here. Then for the Lions, incredible draft. Will Anderson, Will Levis at 18, Musgrave at 48, Tuli Pelotu at 55. You still address corner with a high upside guy. DJ Turner at number 81. And then for the Packers, pretty straightforward. 3 rounds, 3 picks. Christian Gonzalez, Darnell Washington, and Zach Harrison. All of them incredible picks, players, whatever you want to call them. Should be fun. If that was the real life version of the draft, I would be very happy as a Packers fan. But Minnesota Vikings get JSN and Hendon Hooker. Address 2 things that definitely could be in need here in these future years. So young receiver that can play the slot better than anyone in his class, in my opinion. And then Hendon Hooker, someone I'm a fan of, despite that ACL tear. You have time behind Kirk Cousins maybe for another year, depending on how well Kirk can play. 2 years down the road, Hendon Hooker might pick it up and be able to step in and play. And then to have a quarterback at that caliber at 87 is pretty good value. So that'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. You guys want to see me do like another division mock draft? That would be pretty fun. Yeah, that'll be all for me. I will see you guys next time. Check out the video, check out the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. At least consider it. I mean, you guys, if you watched all the way to now, you're a real one. See you guys next time.